So maybe that might make you settle down sooner. No, no, TiE is full of surprises, so we thought it might be more interesting for people. That's how they will settle down quicker, come down from their rooms faster, rather than just a. So maybe we can have a quick opener with PG and Alok for 2 minutes, and then we will get into the real spirit of the discussion. See, they're going to make us work after this opening act. They're going to make us work. So I thought maybe let's put the shoe on the other foot and get them started with doing some work, and then we will have a serious conversation. Maybe we have mics here. So these are both IIT Delhi alumni, senior and junior from IIT Delhi. Thank you, PG, for letting me know that this is also possible.
है अपना दिल तो आवारा न जाने किस पे आएगा.
Please join in.
है अपना दिल तो आवारा न जाने किस पे आएगा. ला 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 ला. हसीनों ने बुलाया, गले से भी लगाया, बहुत समझाया यही न समझा. बहुत भोला है बेचारा, न जाने किस पे आएगा. है अपना दिल तो आवारा, न जाने किस पे आएगा. ला 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 ला. हुआ जो कभी राजी तो मिला नहीं काजी, जहाँ पे लगी बाजी वहीं पे हारा. जमाने भर का लाचारा, न जाने किस पे आएगा. है अपना दिल तो आवारा, न जाने किस पे आएगा.
Thank you.
Thank you for being such sports and doing it on the spot. What better way to start the 25th anniversary celebration? I think this deserves a great round of applause for both Alok and PG. They may not sign my salary check after this, but that's another story. But if you think about it from an entrepreneur's perspective, socha kuch tha, kuch aur ho jata hai, and then, it starts off, the journey starts off. But a big thank you. It's a, very special occasion for all of us. For this 25th anniversary celebration, we will be doing several things through the year to keep celebrating rather than just one big event, because I think we'll remain excited around the year in any case. But to kick things off, I know there are a lot of things planned as we go along. I wanted to request PG and Alok to join us on stage. One of the things that we wanted to do is to start off with a little bit of visioning, brainstorming exercise for a couple of reasons. One is that it will give us time, if we kickstart with this, it will give us time even over the course of the rest of the day and tomorrow, even as we go, to keep evolving our thoughts on this particular topic, on what next 25 years for TiE and TiE Delhi-NCR should look like. So that will give us time to also keep talking about it and, maybe sitting in and sharing some ideas. I don't need any introduction for PG and Alok. All of us know them really, really well. But from a formality sake, PG, of course, has been a distinguished alumni award holder from IIT Delhi. He's won the Helen Keller Award for his work in the disability sector. PG has also been conferred the Best Mentor Award by the Government of India in the National Startup Awards, etc. He is our governing council member. He's also served as our past president, also a past trustee on the global board. PG, do join us on stage. And everybody is envious of that. Yes. Similarly, Alok, a first generation entrepreneur, and of course, our president. And the other thing is that the other common trait, apart from their IIT Delhi and singing that we talked about, is that, I've worked closely with both of them in their capacity as presidents. PG is a vegetarian, light breakfast in the morning, no lunch, keeps his energy going. I remember when I was ED, we would have our calls even past midnight to say, okay, let's catch up on the emails that have been coming in. He would have a separate folder. Kya 1500 mails ho gaye, let's talk about it. So where he gets his energy, what's the fuel, we don't know. Similarly with Alok, he's a vegan, taking one step further with all his fitness and all of that. So really inspirational in many, many ways, not just from this perspective, but for the work they've done in the whole entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem space. So I will hand it over to PG and Alok to take our discussion forward.
Thank you, Geetika.
Thanks, Geetika.
So, we would like to keep this interactive. The idea really is to reflect on, the journey that we've seen in the ecosystem. TiE has been around now in India for 25 years. And more importantly, look forward to your next 25 years or next 10 years at the least. And think about what are the directions in which we need to evolve, how should we change, how we serve entrepreneurs, right? So that's really the purpose of this discussion. But why don't we kick this off? PG, you've been involved with TiE for all of the 25 years that we've been around here. Just what are some of the significant changes that you have seen in the ecosystem?
Okay, so perhaps let me start with even the generation before that, all right? So if you actually look at the 70s and 80s, because TiE came up in the 90s, so if you look at 70s and 80s, at that time, it was the early days of entrepreneurship, I would say, because till that time it was business families which would do business. And more or less, entrepreneurship was quite an unknown sort of a factor that was there. And primarily, the business advantage was driven through licenses, either a manufacturing license or an import license. Okay, so that used to be the kind of a scenario which was there. And I think in the 80s, you started seeing some changes taking place when, large-scale licensing was done. The electronic sector was opened. Suddenly, lots of people were making televisions. Suddenly, lots of people were making computers and stuff like that. And then in the 90s, I think, we were forced to liberalize, of course. And that is when you started seeing the first whiff of entrepreneurship coming in, which for which the seed was probably sown in the 80s. That is the time when Infosys and HCL and, a lot of Wipro and a lot of companies like that had started coming up. And at that time, it was essentially software exports which drove the transformation that was there. And suddenly, everybody woke up to the fact that, yes, you need not be from a business family. You could start from any kind of a background and you could become an entrepreneur. And
I think Infosys in some sense, made entrepreneurship legitimate, right?
Absolutely.
For first generation.
Absolutely. They become a role model. But till that time, the role models were sitting in the Silicon Valley, because suddenly you would hear that so-and-so has now become the CXO of such and such company. And, Indians sort of rising there. And when we used to go to Silicon Valley, TiE was there, TiEcons were happening, and we could see the energy in those in those rooms of entrepreneurship. So that was, I think, I would say the 0th phase.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, I would love to bring some of you into the conversation. Even when we started here, I think the first phase of entrepreneurship, at least the first phase of visible entrepreneurship, was just the venture-backed entrepreneurship, right? TiE also started very focused on tech entrepreneurship initially. And at least I think the couple of transitions I've seen happen is the ecosystem broadening from just tech to really all kinds of businesses. And I remember in the 2005, 2010 time frame, TiE Delhi went through a lot of that shift, right? But also, over the last 4 or 5 years, bootstrapped entrepreneurship has again taken off. In fact, the Founders Club membership that we have, most of our entrepreneurs there are entrepreneurs who are bootstrapped, who haven't raised money and may perhaps never raise money and still build compelling businesses. What are the shifts that some of you are seeing, in that ecosystem, right? What should we be prepared for as we move forward? We serve a certain kind of entrepreneur today. What else should we be looking at? Geetika, you want to kick off? I'm sure you on the ground are meeting a lot of entrepreneurs. What are you seeing on the ground?
No, so I was just saying that can we have some roving mics in the audience so that people can, but Alok, let me kickstart. I think as far as the future is concerned, a lot of that is going to be led by deep tech. There is transformation taking place in each and every industry. Something will come from AI, something will come from perhaps human-computer interface, it will be robotics, it will be, businesses will get transformed because of perhaps AR, VR. I mean, there are so many new things which are going to happen, all led by technology. So perhaps we are going to see a new type of entrepreneur coming up in the future. Yeah, Raman.
No, I thought.
No,
See, I think as I sit next to the global chair, I think the aspect of what we as TiE look at, a definition of a startup. Having been associated with TiE for a large part of these 25 years that Geetika spoke about, we've never had the clarity of what that startup definition is. We've always gone and said, okay, we are catering to the startup or the entrepreneur or everything. I think the time has come for us to flesh out that definition and see where the Venn diagram overlap the so-called SME sector. And I think that is a segment, at least in India, that is huge and mammoth. They need a lot of help. They don't have a body like TiE. And if there is an opportunity for us to do something that is good for us and good for them, because there is a lot of learning, the 25 years, while you talk about it, the learnings we as TiE have of the startup ecosystem is enormous. That can be utilized, yes, it can go into other sectors, and that I think, PG, what you just referred to, the other sectors, I mean, AI is a new thing or maybe not so new thing or whatever, that we are willing to embrace, but are we willing to embrace the definition and go beyond that?
And also, would you also add tier 2 towns and tier 3 towns and, all of that? Murali, you also want to add something?
Again, I don't think it is about the present definition has all been wrapped around valuation and exits and everything. My granddad was an entrepreneur. He did not create his retail business to sell. It was to make a decent profit and have a decent standard of living, what we now call lifestyle businesses. But today, somehow the lifestyle businesses are not a part of what we call startups. Maybe it is right, maybe not. All I'm saying is, let's have a dialogue, let some clever people think about it, talk about it, and see where the definition needs to go.
Hi, this is Pooja Verma. I'm also a founder. Uh, I think by definition, some things that will see a change is in the times to come, we'll see more unicorns which are being made with barely 20 to 100 people. Unlike there was a phase when you had 2,000, 5,000 people, and that's how unicorns came up. So by definition, I think that's one change that is happening. And the second important thing amongst founders when we discuss about fundraising and all, raising funds against equity might not be the first option like it has been for the last 10 years, where even at idea stage and then there's a race from series A, B, C, D and so on. That's one way of coming up, but I think founders are more mindful of, it's not about giving away equity, but it's about letting someone in your guest room and then bearing with it for a while. So with so many innovative debt options and so many other options, I think that's also one change that will come up, and the policymakers can design something accordingly. Yeah.
Very, yep. Anyone else?
I think the other emphasis that we've seen is on women entrepreneurs, right? So that number seems to be, also going up.
Yeah. Geetika, would you like to add to that on what have you been hearing on the ground from the women founders that we've been talking to?
And I'm sure since a lot of people here have been here for decades, that change or shift must be kind of evident just qualitatively. One doesn't need to quote numbers. But there's still a lot being said about the need for, structured access. We have had TiE, which has provided an informal access to a lot of experience. Besides, actual capital, the knowledge capital, which is sort of informally or in some formal way available. So what, and Geetika is talking about this initiative. We've gone and spoken with about 10 to 20 women entrepreneurs to understand what can TiE in its unique place really do to formally bring in something that they will value. One thing that comes out very strongly is need for formal structured mentoring, and a lot of it exists in many different ways, like how do you do a pitch, etc. But safe spaces, which are more sort of community oriented, those are still kind of lacking, where one can just tap into and not be afraid to ask or to seek help. So it's interesting to see this shift. There are more coming out, but there are also help that's needed.
So that's great, structured mentoring, and that is one of the pillars of TiE. So, Alok, would you like to talk about, how you see mentoring in the past and how do you see mentoring evolve?
So I think in what we have done, I can give a little bit of a background to that, and certainly I think that is one area where the expectations of entrepreneurs are changing a lot, right? So the genesis of TiE in some sense is in mentoring, right? And in a specific model of mentoring, which I think got referred to as the Guru Shishya model, where someone like Raman nodding his head there becomes the guru, right? And then they're all kids sitting out there, sir, gyan de do. But that is really, kind of what TiE brought to the table when it was launched. I think something that we experimented with starting maybe about 10 years back was the TiE Gold model, right? Which was almost think of it as a subscription-based mentoring model, right? So we said, that one interaction doesn't quite generate value. It can be an interaction that generates inspiration, but you are not really able to go into the substance of the business. And so we tried out this model where the same mentor-mentee continued for a 6-month period over successive interactions. So there was context. You could build from one conversation to the next. And then because the capacity and skill set of a particular mentor may be limited by their experiences, we brought a degree of group mentoring to the table, of saying, hey, if you need someone in healthcare, then we have a mentor in healthcare who can come in and take a session as part of that process. But if you now need someone who specializes in marketing, then we can get a functional expert in marketing to come in and do that with you, right? So that is something that we have tried.
Alok, a quick word. On the TiE Gold, there was one company that I took up, and every month, even today, I have an interaction with them.
Wow. So you're at the
It's
gold
been,
mine.
it's been ongoing since then. Yeah, sorry.
And I think the
Go
third
on.
piece that I'm beginning to see now a little bit, and with some of the younger entrepreneurs here, I'd love to get their thoughts on this. A lot of entrepreneurs now are telling us, hey, connect us to our peers, right? I want to learn from what they are doing because they know what's going on today. And, what you did 20 years back, sure, it's interesting, but it may not be as relevant as contemporary knowledge.
So Alok, I'm not a younger entrepreneur. I'm older than you.
Hey,
one of the
is that true?
I'm so much older,
look
I
younger.
couldn't drag you at IIT Delhi. But he dragged me. See, there is one thing which has been bothering me for some time. 'Cause I have been mentoring a lot of young people. And, there is this term that we keep throwing around, angel investing, right? And there was one guy who asked me, sir, आप angel investor क्यों बुलाते हो अपने आप को? When we need the money, you're not there, right? It's a very fundamental issue because I find increasingly, so we have been doing some level of angel investing, and increasingly we look for X level of revenues before we are willing to put in money, right? The guy says, look, sir, I have to build a product. Who's going to give me money for that? So angels are those who help you when nobody else is willing to, but you're not willing to help us. I don't know if there is a solution. I don't know if there is a solution within what TiE is doing, but that's a fundamental problem. You talk about group mentoring. So I've been a part of some of your group mentoring sessions. And the first question people ask is, sir, gyan to bahut badhiya, but sir, can you give us money? We need the money because we need to build our product, right? And I think that's a fundamental question which I don't have an answer to. I don't know if some wise men and women here do. But maybe we can, if we have a solution, that will help.
So Dhruv, our young member just told us she doesn't want the money, she just wants... But, I would love to hear from more of the younger folks here, right? How are the expectations on, what we call as mentoring? Maybe even the language is changing. But how are those expectations changing? What would you like to see be available?
Oh, yeah. So I agree to what he said. So one side of it is, yes, every startup
Can
needs...
I just request you to sort of, just...
Okay, so I'm Rakhi and I'm a co-founder in Nourish with my partner Kinna. So yes, I agree that, in the initial phase, to build the product and to take it to the market, you need the investment, you need the money. But at the same time, I also feel that the first flight, if TiE could have something like a first flight sort of program where any startup who's just starting, how to even take your product to the market or how to integrate so many platforms, how to get the LinkedIn people to upskill and, to tell you how at a very initial phase you can, utilize LinkedIn or to get some credits from them. All these things I think would be a great support because I think most of the startups, in the initial phase, they struggle with all those things and integrating so many, third-party vendors and thinking about how to go out in the market, whom to pitch to, and where is that, that group standing where we can just go and say, okay, buy my product. So I feel a good balance of both, what he's saying and the...
Tell me, your language is interesting. And the reason it's interesting is because we have typically defined our mentoring as what to.
Okay.
You asked the question how to.
Yes.
Was that deliberate? Is that a shift in, hey, tell me how to apply rather than...
Yes, because it's very, very industry specific. It's very product specific these days. I mean, if I have to ask, what should I do? I can go to even ChatGPT or Grok or ask, But when it comes to a situation, like I'm in India, I'm in here, I don't want to go right now to the foreign market. I want to really first establish myself in India. I want to, I want to achieve this in year 2025-26 in terms of my balance sheet or, the revenue, whatever. So I think if the mentorship program can be structured in such a manner that that first flight is very important. I mean, that's what we also saw with us. And that's where you make or break. most of the entrepreneurs. And if that support is given, I think you can do amazing stuff. Because the passion is there. I feel everyone who's jumping into this, taking this risk, the first risk, they have the passion, they have, a clear sight what sort of product they want. All they want is how to match that product with the need in the market. Where is the need, where the need lies, and all of it. I think that sort of model, I feel, would work. And I'm hoping for that.
Hi, Alok.
Thank you.
So I've been associated with TiE as an associate member for 10 years, and recently, like last 2 years back, I became a
May I
charter
again
member.
request you if you can
Yeah,
just...
yeah, sure. My name is Vishal. I run a company called BioRx Ventures. We are a deep tech accelerator for focusing on health clean tech. I think for me, definition of startup, I think is a very good idea, because as a banker, I can tell you that, for a bank like HDFC, the startup definition is net worth of 500 crore. Now, net worth of 500 crore. When I was working with the Yes Bank, the net worth was 100 crore. Now, I think it's very, very important that what is our TG? And I think sometimes TG is not very clear, so I think it makes really sense. Sorry?
PG is clear.
No, I'm talking about TG. Yeah. So I think it's important that, we should have a clarity. Are we serving startups or are we serving scale-ups? Because sometimes I've seen in the same forum, we have really startups which have been in the space for 20 years. So I think TiE as an organization, I think it's known for startups. So I think that message must be reinforced. That is one. Second, I feel that there is institutional framework for mentor and mentee. Because, if there's no institutional framework, it's not accountable framework. And the many accelerators, many venture builders who have institutionalized the, I would say framework, which actually gives a stickiness, which is more accountable, and that's where real value creation happens. And I think which I see missing here, because it's like a very top line kind of approach. Okay, if you meet me, I'll say hello to you, but there's no accountable relationship. I think there's a huge scope there. This is what we have experimented at BioRx, and it has really worked for us. And I would love to see that how TiE Delhi-NCR could institutionalize it. The third is the area that I specialize in, which is about technology business incubators. And my views would be limited to, again, deep tech, right? So I think each and every technology business incubator must know about TiE and TiE Delhi-NCR. And they should really have, TiE Delhi-NCR representative in their innovation council. Now, there is a UGC mandate. There is many mandates which are come, and there's enough money in the technology business incubators. Up to 1 crore, is easily available for credible startup, right? So if we as mentors associated with these startups, and I think there is definitely a leverage that we have, that up to 1 CR for a credible startup is not a problem. Because there are thousands TBIs in the country today, and each of them minimum disburse 5 crore. That's the kind of money they've raised from AIC, they've raised from various institutions. And Alok, you and I know each other from FITT days also. So I think there's enough money. The thing is that, there has to be an accountable mentorship. There has to be institutional framework between mentor and mentee. And the third is the TiE Delhi must become thought leader in the minds of each AIC or each incubator, that, if it is about impact, if it's about mentoring, it's about accountability, we have to talk to TiE Delhi-NCR. And I think that is what I would call it, our goal for next 5 years. And if we can achieve that, I think we will really create impactful startups, because we don't know what kind of impact we will require in next 5 years, because whatever has happened in last 10 years may not be good enough to replicate for next 5 years. And I think I'm really happy that, you guys have set a stage for thinking what we should do 25 years from today. But I think it's important that we look at for next 5 years, and there is huge scope and there is huge support available, but are we tapping it enough as TiE Delhi-NCR? I think there is huge scope, and this comes from my own experience working with Upasana in SDPI program. I think we've been very vocal, and we have seen that our suggestions have been heard, and we're becoming more impactful. But I think there's huge scope, and we all, as thought leaders and people from TiE Delhi-NCR, I think we all can contribute a lot. And people do recognize, but I think we need to do much more, so that startups feel that they cannot live without TiE Delhi-NCR. I think that's the statement I want to make. Thank you.
Any other thoughts? I think this is an interesting one, because at some level, if you say where is entrepreneurship headed, right? And Raman made the point of small businesses as entrepreneurs. There's this whole Shark Tank phenomena, which has democratized the aspiration to be an entrepreneur tremendously, right? Entrepreneurship was very inaccessible. And suddenly now, my mom, who's 75 years old, is telling me, "Oh, ghar pe kitabein rakhi hain, let's make a library out of it." Right? No kidding. So it's not just younger entrepreneurs. I think in all sections of society, Shark Tank is a mass media phenomena. How do we service that breadth of entrepreneurship? Right? Is the other piece to think about. Because India is going to see millions of entrepreneurs. Right? It's not an exaggeration. Today at TiE, maybe we engage with 10,000 through the year. Yeah.
But let's say in this room, anybody who's born after 2000? Okay, no hands, all right. So, that could be yet another thing that we need to look at, that how do we engage with younger entrepreneurs? Because increasingly, the age of entrepreneurship is something that is dropping, right? You are having many more young people coming up and becoming entrepreneurs. By the way, how many from 90 to 2000? Okay, so yeah, okay, the 3 or 4 people hands that went up, all right. And perhaps it would be good to hear you guys as to what is the
Actually, I would
benefit.
yeah.
I would love to
Just send them
get your views on this. Yeah, and Murli, you want to say something? Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, so I think a couple of points. So what Raman was saying, so SME, I see like couple of changes happening in the SME. So one, there is demand increasing, but at the same time, I feel the established SMEs, they are going through a change because next generation do not want to work over there. And that's why maybe a lot of entrepreneurs are coming in. They might not be doing anything deep tech, but let's say a small business, but they are giving in their own thought. How can I start something? And so I think in SME space, I see this change, like older companies either getting shut because the new generation is not want to take that up, and people like me and other people tapping those opportunities, so they won't be like deep tech. And I think how I see D2C is some version of that, but that will happen across industries, be it manufacturing, be it other industries. So that's one. So one idea would be, can we sort of the way NASSCOM is there, they are focused on software body, right? They represent as a software body. So what will be some of these themes? So D2C is one, manufacturing is another. What are those some key areas that will come up, and can there be structured approach to mentor those startups? And other than that, I think when you said I would want to learn from a peer, so I think that's true. But at the same time, maybe there are certain kind of businesses which now will take maybe 10, 15 years to build and won't have a journey wherein in 5 years I am like scaling ultra fast, right? So for those kind of businesses, I'm not looking to talk to someone who has done it 20 years before, and neither I'm looking to talk to my peers, but I would rather talk to someone who's 3 years ahead in that journey, right? So probably building that kind of network for these specific domains, I think that is something I feel could be very, very valuable.
Hello, I'm Abhigyan. There was this question of where are the entrepreneurs and how do we reach them, right? So I just wanted to say from my
Can you
journey.
hold it closer?
Hello, yeah. I just wanted to say the entrepreneurs are here. It's not like, it's the mindset which just needs to change with whoever we are communicating. I knew about TiE when I entered college, and there was this always, even in college, there was this huge thing that, people are building thing, and it takes time for that mindset to actually come. Back in college, I was thinking, people are building these things, my seniors are building colleges, I started working at startups. And when I went to the US, and suddenly there's this shift that, we can do this, we are ripe for this, and then it's no longer a choice. And the support in terms of, repeated saying, I know it's not like a one shot saying that, okay, TiE, it's here, it's a support ecosystem, but when the entrepreneur is ready, TiE is there for them to support. So like a repeated outreach at colleges and stuff like that, that's the best way, which TiE has been doing, and I think it's the wonderful way to continue that journey as well. Thank you.
How many associate and founder club members do we have here? Just show of hands. Associate members and founder club members. So non-charter members. Yeah. Both?
Bhubaneswar.
Ah, okay.
But I just want to share something like if I little bit elaborate, maybe little lengthier what I'll talk right now. I'm Subhashish. I build a company called Booking Genie out of Bhubaneswar. So I think the story that I'm going to narrate is about how my journey has been with TiE. So if you may allow little...
if you can keep it short, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Because we just want to make sure everyone gets
the first time I saw this TiE word in the book of, while I was considering to leave my job as Vice President ICICI Bank in Bombay, is in the book of Subrata Bagchi called High Performance Entrepreneur. And then I started searching what is this TiE that Subrata Bagchi got, because he helped from our state. So then I started understanding TiE, left my job by this time, set up a small service company in Bangalore, Electronic City, because I thought Bhubaneswar, nobody will care about it. So there, in one of the TiE event, I went and I understood that somebody called Sanjay Mehrotra was there. So I kind of just went to him and I asked, I want to do business of outsourcing from US. And cutting long story short, he gave me the first outsourcing business from SanDisk. So that was the service company we started. But then I realized, like Raman said about lifestyle business. So I realized I was into lifestyle business, but I understood what is a startup, scaling, innovation, so on and so forth, while my travel in US. First time I attended TiECon in Silicon Valley, US. Then I had an urge to start this chapter in Bhubaneswar. So we invited Kanwal Rekhi, PG had come there to inaugurate our chapter. So that was a lot of work there. And then every time, like first, my mentor, or I can say Dronacharya kind of for Eklavya was Sanjeev Bikhchandani, whom I read. First time I was like sitting in one of the board meeting in TiECon Delhi, because our president didn't come, so I came to represent him. Just I was sitting beside him, and imagine that kind of inspiration or excitement that I would have met him for the first time. But I believe as an entrepreneur, whatever I need, I have got from TiE. Right? Whenever I need access to mentor, there is no fixed one mentor. Raman has mentored me, you have mentored, PG has mentored. Fund also in terms of when we were raising second term and I was not really getting a right valuation. So TiE Angels gave me the first term sheet and then the rest followed. So in my opinion, like if I or anybody as an entrepreneur needs to have some benefits from out of TiE, I mean, it's their ownership. Like, I think a lot of things are there in TiE, which I am one of the benefactors. Like TiE, CNBC Young Turk that happened in 2018, right when we started this company. I think the funding journey also started here in the large stage in Taj, where we got attention from investors and the first round of investment happened.
That's so, one piece I want to pick from what you said, right? And again, the second pillar of TiE, so to say, has been networking. And again, I remember my early TiECons. Networking was, get into Darbar Hall and, float around and hopefully something will happen. And we are seeing members get more and more specific about what they want from networking, right? Specifically, again, I'll refer to Founders Club here because that's our kind of newest class of membership. Lot of entrepreneurs are building stuff. But their ask is very clear. They're saying, hey, I want revenue, right? So if you want to gear up networking, gear it up so that I can take back orders or referrals from this group. Networking is not having a drink together, right? So just on networking, any expectations there? What should we be doing? Is it even an issue? the reality is that the density of entrepreneurs has gone up significantly. So are there other forums where you seek networking happens more organically? Just would love to get some views on that.
Yeah, hi, Dayal here. You know, this has been kind of touched upon through the various comments, but I do want to emphasize that I think one of the things that, and I sort of have grown up participating from the age of 16 at various TiE functions, I think there were always entrepreneurs there who were heroes, and access to such entrepreneurs was, what I think really gave impetus, gave sort of the air, under the wings of TiE in the early days. And I think, of course, TiE through its events continues to do that. But how to make sure? I mean, maybe that has shifted away to Shark Tank, like you mentioned, right? So I think having those people consistently in the room, available is perhaps the wrong word, but accessible to the SMEs or to the small entrepreneurs who would then travel, take a train, come participate. I think that is something that possibly needs to be rediscovered or re-energized, and how to make sure that we are having those entrepreneurs who are really heroes in today's date. And also because, the ecosystem is moving very fast, right? Innovation with AI and a lot of things, things are moving very fast. So the pace at which today you have to learn your lessons is fast. So if somebody's cracked it, and if somebody sort of found a solution, found an answer, and they are able to come in and sort of share those learnings. I think at the previous India Internet Day, one of my favorite sessions was the one where there were these 4 basically tech guys on stage talking about AI, and actually not really talking about AI, talking about the applications that they've made and being able to present that on stage. And they were mobbed after the session. I think that was probably one of my favorite sessions, and those entrepreneurs were really like, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? For the next 2 hours, nobody would leave them. So some of that kind of stuff, if we can try and bring back a little bit more, I think will go a long way.
And so, are you saying that those, let's say those 4 guys, they are not TiE Charter members, and perhaps the successes of the last 10, 20 years, those role models should also be part of the entire TiE ecosystem?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in India, generally, our philosophy is to want to give back. And I think successful entrepreneurs do want to give back. And they want to probably be seen as giving back also. So how do we just make sure that, they are definitely captured in that, and they are, making some time available, more than they are right now at least, right? Because, right now they'll sort of come in for one event in a year, and that's it. It's okay, this is the annual TiECon, they'll come in for an event, then it's next year, if at all, right? Or maybe there's a gap of 4 years, 3 years. So that's what I'm saying, that, yes, at the ground level, more charter members who are more tech savvy, because technology is an important part, not only wanting to limit it to tech, but also the big names, right? And how they are more involved in a slightly more consistent way. That I think can make a big difference on a lot of the points that have been raised.
So, Alok, one point, Alok, I was just saying that, during the early days of TiE, the mentoring was more about opening doors. And what I'm hearing is that today the expectation is, no, give me an order. Is that
I'm hearing that more on networking. I'm hearing more on networking, not on mentoring. But yeah, if you draw that distinction.
I'm talking about the networking was open a door for me versus give me an order. Is there a change in that kind of a thinking?
I think what has also happened in that is, and as we have this discussion, it's probably twofold that we are thinking about it. One is in terms of TiE services and how we've been doing things, because that, the basics of that doesn't change. We still need to make sure that we create more awareness and create more entrepreneurs, we need to still make sure that we improve the chances of success for every startup that we engage with. So to do that, what are the programs we offer through our pillars, and how can we strengthen that, improve that, make it more relevant and tailored to what they need today. The other part of the discussion is also about TiE's own presence and activities, because when TiE started, we were the only game in town that was supporting startups. So whether people needed more awareness about starting up, or they needed mentoring, networking, anything they needed, they came to TiE. We had the best events in entrepreneurship. So attendance was a given. The support, revenue, sponsorship, whatever it was, that is something people associated with TiE. Even if they wanted mentorship, they knew this is where the mentors were. As time has gone on over these last 25 years in India that we've seen, I think there are a lot of people that started engaging with startups. They all realized the importance of startups. So whether they were old industry associations or new ones that came up, everyone was doing startups there now. And to TiE's credit, we helped them. We actually enabled them to become robust organizations, because we felt that the more they were out there, the more services startups could get. But and to some extent, many of the programs that TiE had, whether it was, Startup Expo or the kind of events we were doing, or even the names of our, kind of programs that we had, got taken up by others, because we were never doing our copyright and trademark and this and that. We were so focused on our work. But at the same time, what has happened is that now, if we still do great events, but there are 1,000 other events that are taking place. We still provide mentorship, we have good mentors, but there are mentors out there in every incubator, in every other organization that's also providing them. Government is engaging at a different level with all kinds of people, and government is now themselves also doing, all the things that we would earlier do for startups, etc. So what we have also got to see is, how do we still stand out? How do we refresh ourselves in a way? And access has become easier. If somebody earlier wanted to come and meet unicorns, they would need to come to TiE and meet them. But now, unicorns are at every forum, at every event. So I think that has happened.
I
So
think
we
there are a
need to
couple of ways
refresh
of looking at it, Geetika, right? So one is, I feel great that the ecosystem has come to a point where there are 10 organizations like TiE, right, if there are. And that demonstration effect is something that should make us very proud of ourselves. Having said that, I think the question is, where is the envelope of underserved entrepreneurs sitting today, right? Because, India is not, one uniform level of service for everyone. So we have to uncover our zone of relevance, which may have shifted. It may have shifted by tier 2 geography. It may have shifted by, where the entrepreneurs are coming from, the Shark Tank generation versus, go big or go home generation, right? So I think we have to discover that. Apurv, you have a comment there?
Hi, my name is Apurv. I work at Google. I wanted to take an analogy from consumer internet. So the way e-commerce started in India, Amazon and Flipkart started as horizontal platforms. And TiE is akin to that. So 25 years ago when TiE started in India, it was a horizontal platform. Then Nykaa came, Zomato came, so food, fashion, cosmetics, e-commerce got verticalized. I think in any kind of organization, whether it's a startup or a paid forward organization like TiE, we should seriously consider whether we want to do SIGs or stuff like that. Defense tech is important. There's so many companies coming. Manufacturing is important. A lot of funding happening in manufacturing startups. So one food for thought is, as we think about TiE, can we have actually SIGs and mini TiE Delhi-NCRs, which are focused around communities of interest and SIGs?
No, great thought, Apurv. I don't know if you know we have SIGs. I think what we haven't done very well is to reinvent those, right? The lady next to you, I think she had a comment to make.
My name is Geetika, and what popped up was when the gentleman here was sharing about networking, and you had a question around that. And just a thought, like in today's paradigm, networking is very different, right? When we think of connecting, where do we go? We go to LinkedIn. Technology is such a big enabler. I can go and look for specific people. When I have a question on, I'm not from a technology background, but if I have a question around that, I'll go and search for something specific. And TiE has such a large community. It's not just Delhi-NCR, but overall, if there was a way, I don't know how, but to search for specifically the person or an enabler, that would also then promise, that there won't be paucity of time, because they won't show up to all events. There is less and less time we have, but if we can be specific about the help we need or the area that we want some mentoring on, it can become easier. So can technology be an enabler, is the question.
Okay, so, one of the advantage of TiE was the fact also that we had a global network, and therefore there could be a lot of global mentoring and global access to whether it was technology or customers and so on. And Murli, would you like to
Thank you, Raman. No, for others in the room, I'm Murli. I'm colleague of Alok on the global BOT. Raman was my ex-colleague. PG, I think as TiE as a global network, and I think you hit it on very important thing that compared to the other organizations which exist in the ecosystem, what we bring is the global network and opening of that networking opportunities, right? And as Geetika was mentioning, and I do want to point out, that one of the initiatives last year we started and which we are going to implement this year in the month of March, April, is a technology solution which will bring access to this global members, right? Where members can connect with each other globally through technology. We already shortlisted the technology platform, and we are in the process of beta testing that platform where the accessibility, that enablement of this networking can happen technology-wise, so that a person who is sitting in Ahmedabad can reach out to a person who is in Los Angeles, right? And to a specific thing. And again, going back to what Alok was mentioning and what Raman had alluded in his opening remarks is that always, see, TiE 25 years ago, when TiE was founded with the objective of serving the underserved entrepreneurial markets. Today, if you were to look at, not from a technology point of view, from a SIG point of view, where are those underserved entrepreneurs exist? In India, it is in the tier 3 and tier 4 places, right? If you were to go into Kochi, right? If you were to go into Bhubaneswar, if you want to go into Vizag, if you want to go into Nizamabad, right? Alok, we recently had a TiECon in Nizamabad. Geetika, and they have done a fantastic job, and so many entrepreneurs of substance were there in Nizamabad. And if you look at Mangalore as a market. So we are looking at those underserved entrepreneurial markets from a TiE global ecosystem point of view. So I think maybe the speed at which we are going to those markets can be accelerated a little bit, and you will see that happening, PG. So one thing, technology as enablement for the networking opportunities, yes, we are already TiE from a global perspective, we are looking at it, so you give the access. We are looking at the underserved regions for the entrepreneurial communities. So we will, opening the doors for the ecosystems. Raipur, for example, we are aggressively looking at opening the chapter in Raipur, right? So those are the markets which we are looking. Sorry, Alok, like you, I'm trying to, I wrote some notes. He's teaching me a few things on the BOT. And I do want to, Alok, just as a notes for you, I think probably we should look at the TiE Gold as a program to scale it up, right? From the Delhi, if we can see if we can make it as a structure from a global point of view. So one of the priorities which we can do is that TiE Gold, can we export that to the other chapters? Would be something to look
Great.
at.
No, thank you. Was there a comment there? Yeah.
So I can share a working example, a real example of what we're talking about. It's an extension of what you were saying. So I'm a part of multiple founder groups, but by now, since it's been many, many years of being a part of these groups, contributing to them, meeting them, and TiE also, we pretty much know where, when we have a problem or an ask or something or a reference, we know which group will be able to answer. And somehow for us to be able to use the TiE network, the only way for us to do that is to come to an event and come up with new problems that we need solutions for. But let's say, like, for example, I was looking, like, I'm a part of the ex-Google entrepreneur group. I'm a part of Latika Pai's Sonder Ignite. Now, these two groups specifically are very, very active compared to my other groups, where I need a lawyer who has specifically worked in the road transport domain. Within 2 minutes, I had 4 or 5 referrals. I wanted to get connected to the CEO at Group M. And within 2 minutes, I got in touch with the chief growth officer on one of the groups. And then I needed help with some ex-Group M guys to be able to create the pitch for this Group M CEO. I got that also. So, but the point is, I am so sure that within the TiE network, no matter who we're looking for, we would definitely find them, except right now my only way is when I write to Geetika, and she's very kind to connect me wherever if needed.
Yeah. So what Murali said is on the anvil. You know, we already have a TiE Delhi mobile app which enables online networking.
Okay,
So if any of you haven't logged that in, please do so.
I haven't, yeah.
So yeah, and it's early, give us feedback, we'll keep improving it, but the base facility is still there. Thank you so much for your participation in this conversation. You know, we've all taken notes. We'll make sure you go back, process it, and hopefully, Raman, warming, there's a different kind of warming in the evening, we'll get you there.
No, and this will continue. That was the whole point, that we'll start the whole retreat with this so we can continue. But a big thanks to PG and Alok, because that's how it's all come up. So as we go, Gautam, you have some parting thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I just came a little late, and I thought this is the TiE 25 Silver Jubilee celebration, and it sounded like a very depressive talk on how we need to improve. So I think it's also important just to take a moment and say, what we have achieved and really be proud of what we achieved. And it's an incredible journey that we've been on. I've been part of TiE for 20 years, and the whole community has welcomed me. Alok, especially, you were one of my first meetings. And I think, when TiE first started, people were thirsting to understand what is entrepreneurship. I mean, that knowledge was not available, as we were saying, and this was the only place to go. And, we have really served the community in that part. I think it's also important to have the celebration as well. So thank you.
Celebrations, eh? Okay, so we start with the old journey of TiE, and aaj raat bhi hai celebrations to. So there is going to be a lot of celebrating of 25 years. But we thought that we'll start the session by looking at the next 25 years. And what is it that shape that we should take as far as the next 25 years are concerned. So thank you.